Alright, this is going to just be an unboxing of the Beelink SER8 8745HS. So, for anyone that just might not be very familiar with what the Beelink SER8 is, it's kind of a, well, it's an ultra small mini PC. The SER8 8845HS has been out for at least a few months now. And the main difference between the machines is that one of them has an NPU for AI processing and stuff, an 8845HS model, and then there's another model, 8745HS, that doesn't have the NPU in there. And there's going to be other variations of the CPU, like 8745H without the S in there, and that's just a TDP thing. But the main thing that a few people have been talking about lately is, hey, AI stuff, it costs a lot of money, and not a lot of people use it. I couldn't figure out how to use that really practically. I tried a few AI image generators, but most of them are cloud-based, so it doesn't actually use the hardware in here. You can use Copilot on Windows, but it doesn't really use it. There are ways to use the AIs, it's just really, really niche. So, basically, this is the same as the Beelink SER8. This thing, 8845HS, except 8745HS, just doesn't have the NPU in there. And this thing's been fun for me because it's just, well, it's a nice metal case, doesn't make a whole lot of noise. There we go, 8745HS processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte storage. That's nice to see. And space gray. Huh. Well, that's going to be interesting. This one here is the silver version, so this is a little bit darker, but we'll open it up, take a look at it. Picture doesn't match the actual color of it, but this is the nicest way of opening this. I want to save the box, if I can. Alright. Oh, I didn't even cut it. That's some thick plastic. Okay, so Apple Mac Mini has dropped, and I think that's probably going to be a big competitor for this machine, because the SER8 8745HS starts selling around, I think it's like $520. Sometimes it's $500 on Amazon. You're going to have to really hunt down the price, and I don't expect it to be much lower when we get to the Black Friday sales, just because this thing is so new, and unless people just simply are not buying this, the price isn't exactly going to go down. So, turn it off to the side, open it up. There we go. Looks nice. Got a nice little hello on screen. On top of that, yeah, it looks pretty much the same. It's a little darker. This is the silver finish versus the space gray finish. Let me get this out of its wrapper. So the current market price of the 845HS is something around $600. It gets a little bit lower once in a while if you are searching for it, but normally I see around $600. This unit is regularly for around $550, $520. The lowest I've found it for is $500. I haven't found it lower than that unless you're looking at the 24 gigabyte RAM version. And if there is no other alternative to you, 24 gigabytes of RAM is still pretty functional. Huh. I'm not sure why they include this thing in there, but I think it's just to separate power supply, quick manual in there. There isn't anything particularly useful in this from the last one I looked at. Gives you a quick readout of, oh, that's the German. There you go, that's English. So it's a quick manual. Doesn't cover anything super intensive except for like how do you connect the machine to get yourself powered on. and it should be good to feel comfortable opening up the mini PC. There's a few screws to open it up, but it's not too complicated to go ahead and swap out your RAM or SSD if you ever feel the need to upgrade or troubleshoot or something like that. And that is a very handy feature. So we get the Beelink power supply. This is for the US plug. If you are in the EU, or well, maybe if you're in the Australia area, I know you get a much larger power supply, like it's a more traditional brick and plug thing. This is more like a GAN charger for laptops and is connected to a barrel connector, 5.5 by 2.5 millimeters. Let's see, 100 watts. Yep, pretty much the same as the SER8. 19 volts, 100 watts. Nothing too complicated there. Get an HDMI cable. Not VESA mountable, but that's okay. I don't normally VESA mount my computers anymore because I use that VESA mount for a monitor stand. But if that's something that you're intending on looking for, just be mindful of that. A lot of the new Beelink mini PCs are not VESA mountable. Alright, I'm just putting it back inside the box and yapping so much. Alrighty. So, let's go over the ports here. You got audio jack over here, power button over here, reset hole in center over here. You can just put like a paper clip or a little pin and just disconnect power, all connected devices. Press and hold this pinhole for about 30 seconds. It will reset the BIOS. If you're experimenting in the BIOS, you create some sort of setting. This is handy to reset it without opening the machine. USB-C. This is not USB 4. I think it's a USB 3 10 gigabyte or port. And then another USB-A port. A couple more USB-A, more USB-A. Display port, HDMI. Let's see. This is 2.5 gigabyte LAN. And oh, here we go. This USB-C is useful because it's a USB 4 port, and you can also connect power to it if you have a USB-C PD power supply. That's probably important for people that are like in the EU or Australia area where you don't get this power supply in the box and you get something larger. You can connect a GAN charger to that port. And then that's your barrel connector. This is 5.5 by 2.5 millimeter. It's pretty standard and common size. So if you find the need that you need a new power supply, and I mean, you could shop around for one of these or just find and use your own. So long as it's 100 watts or more at 19 volts, you should be okay. But yeah, there isn't too much different from this machine. It's interesting to see the new color, but it's pretty much the same case as the SER8, pretty much the same case as the SER9. There's not a whole lot new with this other than the $100 price cut going down from the 8845HS down to the 8745HS. I'm going to run some tests with this. I don't expect to find any performance differences, so this is just going to be for general CPU, single, multi, and iGPU performance tests. And yeah, I'll go ahead and make a video, maybe a teardown in the future. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful day. Enjoy your mini PCs, and if possible and you're looking for a new machine, keep an eye out for the 8745HS model. I think I would prefer that over the 8845HS model now, just because of the lower price, and most people just won't be using the AI features in the previous model. Okay? You guys have a good one.